What's the one thing you do every day that really feels meaningful? After all, retirement isn't just about filling up our days with things to do. It's about focusing on what brings us joy and purpose and fulfillment. Hi, I'm Gail Jervis. Welcome to Life After 65. In today's episode, I'd like to take you through some questions that can help you determine what is actually essential in your life. Your answers could transform how you experience life after 65. Now, what I mean by what's essential, it's based on a book by Greg McKeown called Essentialism. And he says that essentialism is living by design, not by default. It's about simplifying life so that you can focus on what's most meaningful to you. In other words, we don't just try to fill up our day with activities just to keep busy. We focus on doing things that we know give us purpose and joy. We understand that even though some activities are actually fine, they're good, they're enjoyable, but they could be preventing you from doing things that are even better. So I have 12 questions for you to answer, and I believe your answers will help you articulate what is essential in your retired life. So number one, what commitments or activities in your life feel like an obligation rather than a choice? So in this question, you're going to reflect on how much of your time is spent doing things out of habit or expectation rather than because they are meaningful to you. For example, do you attend certain social events just, I've got to be polite. I used to go to those social events and I need to go again. Are you staying active in a club or organization that might have been fulfilling in the past, but now it feels like a little bit of routine? I've done it before, but I guess I'll just keep on doing it. Or are you tired of handling all the household responsibilities when you actually now have the option to delegate or even simplify? As you reflect on such relationships and activities, can you let go of them entirely? Or can you share the activity? Or can you control how much you do in this activity? Number two, what relationships in your life nourish you and which ones drain you of your energy? Now, as we age, relationships become an even more crucial part of living a satisfying and purposeful life. Identifying which connections enrich your well-being and which might distract you, it can help you set healthy boundaries with the ones that are negative to you, draining energy from you. And you can focus on what matters most. I mean, think of those people who give you joy and ask yourself, are you spending enough time with them if they give you that much joy? Also, are you in any relationship that drains your energy? Do you have overly demanding family members, negative or critical friends, toxic acquaintances? Do you spend time in relationships where you feel ignored, undervalued, or unheard? As you assess all your relationships, decide which ones you could spend more time with and which ones you need to set boundaries. If the relationship is seriously toxic, you may even have to decide to step back from that relationship. Number three, are you making decisions based just on your past priorities? What we may have felt was meaningful in our earlier years actually might no longer resonate, but we just keep doing them. Before retirement, you may have gotten a real sense of purpose and meaning from your career. So are you now continuing to consult or perhaps work part-time more out of a fear of losing your identity? This work may actually be no longer that enjoyable or even necessary, but you don't know what else you could do. Who will you be? Or are you trying to keep up with certain social expectations? You continue to attend those formal events, those formal banquets, even though now you actually prefer quieter, more personal interactions. Are you continuing to live in a large house because it was once a symbol of success? This is what I achieved, even though it feels actually overwhelming to care for it now? As we age, priorities often shift. What may have felt meaningful in earlier years might no longer resonate, and it's essential to align your pursuits with who you are today, rather than holding on to those outdated ambitions. Can you adjust your old dreams to suit your current values and abilities? Can you release goals that no longer resonate and acknowledge that priorities actually evolve? Number 4, what skills or talents do you most enjoy using or doing? And how can you incorporate those skills or talents into your life now? Your answer will actually help you identify the activities that naturally energize and inspire you. I knew since I was 6 years old that I wanted to be a teacher. And I first taught junior high, and then when I had children, I homeschooled my son and daughter, and now I actually get to do a little bit of homeschooling with my granddaughters since they are being homeschooled. And I love reading, I love researching topics, and I guess you can probably assume that that's how I ended up starting this YouTube channel. Getting older was an important topic for me, and I wanted to read as much as I could and study as much as I could to find out how my husband and I can, redefine aging so that we can live those years as well as we can. So, with that skill and talent, I now have a YouTube channel. Your skills and talents can suggest ways to contribute meaningful to your community or for your own personal growth. My husband, take him for an example. He used to play a lot of basketball. Well, now he doesn't. But he coaches 2 different basketball teams. He contributes to the community that way. Now, if you enjoy writing, can you get satisfaction by writing a novel or your life story? Perhaps you can find a writer's group to talk to people who enjoy your same passion. All right, number 5. When do you feel most at peace? When do you feel most content? And what is contributing to that wonderful feeling? Well, for me, I'm a Christian, and I'm actually at most peace when I read my Bible. But you might be most at peace when you're practicing meditation. Perhaps you're most content when you're surrounded by friends or you enjoy good conversation. Focus on what is really, truly giving you that peace, that contentment. And number 6, how can you simplify your daily routine to focus on what truly matters? Okay, so sometimes even if we do know what's essential in our lives, if we do know what skills and talents we want to develop, we may not be actually allowing enough time for it because we're still doing a lot of the other stuff. Can you remove unnecessary tasks, any distractions, any commitments to free up so that you actually do have more time to do what's essential, that's giving you peace and contentment and joy and happiness? All right, number 7. What legacy do you want to leave behind? And what you're doing, is it now contributing to that legacy? Or do you need to adapt, modify, change some of your actions so that you are indeed leaving the legacy that you want to leave behind? Reflect on the impact you want to have on the world or those around you, and whether your current choices reflect that vision. How do you want to contribute to the lives of others? And that might be through volunteering, that might be through mentoring. You have to focus on what does it look like for you. Number 8, what personal habits or practices help you stay mentally and physically healthy, and how can you prioritize them? Let's face it, we have to have those habits and practices in place actually almost at the start, don't we? So that we can focus on what the essential things are. You need to consider which habits do contribute to your physical, emotional, and well-being, and how you can make them a priority in your life. Because that is actually the foundation, isn't it, to everything that's essential. Now, number 9. If you had to choose only 3 priorities to focus on for the next 5 years, what would those priorities be? Can you narrow down your life's focus to the 3 things that matter most to you right now? That might be relationships, health, learning, giving back to the community. But be specific on those 3 things. Number 10, what possessions or material things are actually cluttering your life? How can you declutter so that you can actually focus on what's truly valuable? You have to start reflecting on all the physical items in your home. Do they add meaning to my life? Do they add joy to my life? Are they just simply taking up space, perhaps taking up too much space? Number 11. What changes can you make to your schedule or routine to create more space for reflection, rest, and intentional living? You're focusing right now on how to carve out time for relaxation, prayer, meditation, or quiet reflection, whatever you want to call it, to ensure that you are living purposefully and not reactively. Number 12. What would you regret not doing or experiencing in the years ahead? Would you regret not making amends with a sibling? Would you regret not taking your grandkids on that special trip you keep thinking about? Would you regret that you never made time to pursue your real love of painting? Or perhaps there are some countries that you would regret not seeing. Well, those are the questions to get you really thinking about what is essential in your life for that purposeful, meaningful, joyful life. Now, by the way, if you're enjoying this episode, please click the subscribe button and notify button so that you will continue receiving great content to help you and me redefine aging. I hope you'll just take out a sheet of paper and give some serious reflection to these questions so that you will have a clearer picture of what is essential in your life. And after you do, you'll want to watch the next episode where I will be talking about how to identify any obstacles that could interfere with my doing what really matters. I'd like to end this episode by reading a quote from Greg McKeown's book, Essentialism. He writes, "The way of the essentialist isn't about setting New Year's resolutions to say no more often, or about pruning your inbox, or about mastering some new strategy in time management. It's about pausing constantly to ask, am I investing in the right activities?" See you next time.